I've recently made a video series where I covered every game mode and explained how to play Commander in each mode. And now I want to provide you guys with some footage of me actually playing as Commander. This here is going to be offensive mode, and I'm going to try to comment on some of the key moments and explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So let's get right into it. Right as I spawn in, I'm instantly looking for the supply truck and try to grab the supply truck. On Kharkov, there is one spawning by default, but that's not the case for every map. Here, someone even stole it from me, but he actually gave it to me when I asked him. And now I can drop some supplies in the middle HQ as long as my team doesn't capture the first objective. And this is actually huge, because I can drop 3 boxes of supplies in the middle HQ for engineers. So even if they have squad leads that are not on comms, they can use those supplies and still get me the nodes up. The important thing here is spread them out a bit, because you need 50 meters apart from each set of nodes. And don't drop them where the vehicles spawn, because otherwise the spawn is blocked and you can't spawn any vehicles in. One more thing that you could do at the start of the game is to mark the enemy default garrisons. Here I didn't do it because I knew I had squad leaders that know the default garrys, but if you don't have an experienced team, I would recommend just take the time and mark the enemy default garrisons up. If you don't know where they are, I made a video where I show every default and every map. Just watch that, screenshot them, and mark them in your next game. Here I'm starting to pre-drop some supplies for the next sector, and I'm constantly monitoring the map to see the progress of my team. And I'm trying to set up a garrison at the right headquarters, which may sound a bit stupid, because this is the headquarters, why would I need a Gary there? But if my team struggles to capture the first objective, we can still already get the spawn point, because usually the right and left HQ only get unlocked once you capture the first objective. So this gives my team already another spawn point, and also me, in case I get killed in the supply truck, I can hop to the right HQ and don't have to drive all the way from the left one again.
I go to the supply drop.
Alright, yeah, it's for the next sector already, but
There, of course.
I'm gonna pre-drop. I'm gonna try to pre-drop my supplies as good as I can.
Yeah, makes sense that the enemy cannot focus on it.
This squad leader just completely spoke me from the heart, because we want to pre-drop our supplies, which means drop the supplies into a locked area that is 4 grid squares deep from the active sector away. This way the enemy is unlikely to focus on taking it down, and you'll have a high chance that you will get supplies on the ground when the next sector becomes available.
Third drop is on tank mark.
What's that tank mark, Baker?
I'm now trying to set up some garrisons behind enemy lines as long as they are focusing on the strong point, because then later these can be repurposed as blue zone garrisons, and they give us a great chance to take down the enemy defaults. As you can see, I don't really care about the placement. I'm putting it in a pretty bad spot. I'm really focusing more on the location on the map than on the location whether it has cover or not. This is because if the enemy gets within 100 meters around it, it's going to be locked anyways. Of course, I'm not dropping it right in an open field, but I really don't care if it's not the best spot in the world.
I mark again the default settle.
Can you mark the default again? I'm in the area where it should be.
Oh, but
Oh, never mind.
Somewhere back here.
Found it. Found it.
Alright. Abel, you got that mid default yet?
No.
It might not be exactly where my ping is. It might be further down.
This default here is down. House squad lead, the garrison on the marker is down.
Default garrison's around easy marker.
Ja, Wollo, Alter, weg ist.
As you can see on the map here, the enemy actually destroyed the supplies I've pre-dropped into the top left corner of the strongpoint. But I don't really care about it. I'm now starting to pre-drop the supplies for the next sector. I already have 2 good garrisons going. I've got 1 supply box on the right-hand side waiting to become a garrison, and I can just use the supply truck to get the other one. So I'm already pre-dropping again. Ah, nice one. Thank you for that garrison, Oscar. I'm dropping the recon.
Don't grab your supplies yet, come on, just with the wood.
Alright. Bombing run coming in. Check your maps. Enemy garrison on the strong windows down. Here, I'm actually setting up a red zone garrison and not a blue zone garrison in the bottom left corner. If we were struggling more, and if we didn't have such a good blue zone attack garrison, I would have probably set it up. But here I was feeling pretty confident that we are going to capture without it. And so I wanted to keep the last supply crate for the next sector.
That's what it is.
EMMAF.
What?
EMMAF, IFIs and DG4. Try the,
Can I get,
the spot.
can I get a mark, please?
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's what I do.
Fine.
My position is clear. I think this is not the next point.
Okay. Now we see that the next objective is going to be on the left-hand side, and I was actually lucky enough to already have a squad lead over there who sets up a garrison. I was shortly thinking about dropping some supplies for a second blue zone attack garrison, but then I decided to rather pre-drop them for the next sector and use the supply truck to set the garry up. At this point, we were struggling a bit. I got shot in my supply truck while trying to set up another red zone garrison, and the other one has been dismantled. So I decided I want to drop an airhead. So now it was time to figure out where to drop it. I zoomed into the map, searched for cover. Here I chose the stream down as cover because I knew it provided at least some sort of elevation. And then I wanted to drop a bombing run over it to clear the airhead. So I checked where could I drop my bombing run and where could I drop the airhead without completely wasting the bombing run. So then I was just waiting for the timing of the bombing run. To time the bombing run correctly with your airhead, you have to wait until the circle that starts filling once you drop the airhead has reached the bottom right corner of the triangle. Then you drop a bombing run over it, and then the bombing run will drop just before the airhead touches the ground, so just before the enemy gets the chance of destroying it. Watch it, I'm dropping a bombing run over that airhead.
That's a T-34, not an Irish one. He's down.
Yeah, nice mate, nice.
George squad leader, I see your marker. I would like to drop the supplies a bit further north. See if you can still reach that drop. Going to be dropping right on house squad. With the airhead and the garrison that house squad lead has set up, we were able to capture the objective. So I decided it is time to start dismantling some garrisons before we hit the limit.
Medium tank, enemy medium tank, and I can mark.
I just wanted to say something blew
What
me up
mark,
in the
sorry?
truck.
Medium tank, what mark? Able mark.
Able. Give you another mark. He's moving.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you for already setting those garrisons up. I'm gonna... To dismantle these garrisons a bit faster, I decided to drop a Kübelwagen, because driving over there with it is usually faster than redeploying on them. And if you have the Kübelwagen on the ground, or the jeep, you can use it later to get to the front line and set up garrisons behind enemy lines if you have pre-dropped supplies over there.
Did you say dog squad?
No, Alba is Metsu.
Ah, sorry, my mistake.
Beautiful. Thank you for that garrison, George.
No problem.
Commander, can we have Lux left HQ, please?
New thing on that tank.
Yeah, of course. I could also give you a heavy if you want, but I guess you don't.
We are only 10 minutes in this server. We have to change the server.
All right. Left, you said, yeah?
Left HQ.
Fast.
Yeah, now I can.
Thanks, Commander.
Go.
C-70 easy mark also took out Clown Car, the recon tank. Both tanks, recon and light tank destroyed.
Our squad, there's enemy next to that supply, so be careful.
Able mark, do you have a new, is
Take
that
a look.
medium tank still up and active?
Give me a second, Rosie.
Here, I'm dropping some supplies for the current sector as well, because I'm not sitting in a supply truck anymore, and it will take... Here, I'm dropping some supplies for the current sector as well, because I'm not sitting in a supply truck anymore, and I won't be able to get there anytime soon, but I would still want a Gary over there. I have also just completely dumped that Kübelwagen into a trench, because I was looking on the map and not at where I'm going. This happens to me pretty often, I have to admit that. Also with supply trucks, just because I'm constantly looking on the map. I feel like it is not a big deal. I can just spawn a new one. They aren't that expensive. But of course, it is something that is annoying.
Oh,
IS-1 easy mark. Commander, can I please get a Panther left HQ? Panther left HQ.
And here we are. I'm dropping a recon plane for you guys.
Yeah, Commander, if I can get a Panther connect left HQ, that'd be fucking spectacular.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I was stupid. I was confusing left and right. I dropped it right. I'm really sorry, man.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. That's totally on me. Honestly, if you want, I could still just drop you a Tiger here, but I guess you don't want a Tiger.
No, that'd be worse.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, after messing that tank spawn up for that poor fella, I wanted to continue pre-dropping my supplies for the next sector. The thing here really is that I wasn't sure where the enemy HQ is, because it's not at the same location for every map. So you just kind of have to try to work around it. And here I'm really just hoping that it's not the HQ and drop the supplies over there.
I think the last point is on Bravo, Gary Mark.
Do you guys think you are able to take down that garrison on Bitter Spring? Because I have a bombing run ready, I could just drop that over it. How, George, King, Mike? Do you need a bombing run?
Command, that's an accurate Gary Mark.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. I could drop a bombing run over it. If you don't manage to take it down, I could drop a bombing run over it.
I can't tell you right now, I died.
I'm gonna give it like half a minute, and
Yeah.
after that I would.
Gonna figure it out. If not, I will holler.
We'll just take him our artillery out.
Mate, waking.
Wrong shot, sorry.
All right, now lads, I'm gonna drop it. Keep your eyes open. There's a bombing run going through Bitter Spring. Warn your squad mates, please. Don't get me kicked for Tinkins.
Yeah, last point is on Bravo, Gary Mark.
Copy that. I'm gonna see that I can get some supplies near you. That bomb
Garrison not the starting
take
point.
down a garrison.
Garrison not the starting point. Now it is, now it is.
Delta squad is leaving the server, the Recon squad is free.
I am starting third dog. If I'm serious to enter about, see them.
They are very contained by the RT.
I was one on outthink mark, it's accurate.
If it's stationary, I have a precision ready.
And yeah, it's still snow right now, but I don't know if you've got it positioned that it's still there.
Mark G, medium tank.
Alright, I'm gonna hold back a bit with that precision strike, and if I get an updated mark, I'm gonna drop that one in. Commander, by the way, you just dropped that airhead right in their right HQ, so that airhead is definitely going to be gone. Yeah, like I've said, I had no clue where their HQ was, and the squad lead was actually completely right. They instantly took down my airhead, and it went to waste. This could have easily cost me the game, but here I was lucky that we still had 30 minutes left, so it was not a huge deal. But this is something that can happen. These are mistakes that just happen, and I still don't know where their HQ is. So it will probably happen again, but it's just something that you can't really do a lot about. As you can see, I am also constantly converting fuel into munition and manpower, because I didn't have a lot of tank squads, so I didn't want to stack up on fuel. This happens quite often. Usually you will stack up on fuel, so I would suggest just keep converting them as soon as you notice you don't have a lot of tank squads. And if you have max nodes, just use encouraged whenever you can.
Exactly on my marked medium tank.
Stationary.
Yes.
This here is actually quite a big thing, because of course you want an accurate marker and the tank has to be stationary, but zoom into the map when you drop the precision strike, because otherwise it is very easy to slightly misplace it and then the precision is gonna miss.
They know that there was an enemy here actually. So. Gonna protect it until we have responded.
Beautiful, thank you.
About it's the upper airhead down until that.
As you can hear, I'm getting shot at, but I don't really care about it. You have to keep trying. Usually you will get shot, but that one time that you make it through is the one time where you set up the most perfect attack garrison. So just keep trying. It is completely fine getting shot in your supply truck while trying to do a ballsy move. But because if it works, you're gonna be in a perfect position.
Garrison down on plate. Garrison's down on plate.
Beautiful, good job.
I didn't really have those and destroyed it into what was until now.
This game is about to end now. I had a pretty strong team, as you might have noticed. They were communicating, they were setting up garrisons, but we were also fighting quite a strong team, who was even taking down some of the pre-dropped supplies. I also have footage of me playing with some weaker teammates against some stronger enemies and the other way around. I'm gonna try to upload them whenever I can. Just feel free to tell me if you think I've edited too much or if you don't need the commentary, because of course that's a lot of work for me and it's easier to just upload some raw footage. But if you think it's helpful, then of course I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm also still working on a video where I explain how to read the map, because I feel like it is a topic that a lot of people sleep on and it's actually very important. But if there are other things that you might need or think that could be helpful, feel free to tell me. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day and I hope I can see you in the next one.